Exploring the great outdoors in Pennsylvania and beyond. Brought to you by the Mariana Outdoorsmen Association and by Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. Now, the great outdoors with Jason White.
Hello, friends. I'm Jason White. Todd Miner is actually, if you're watching this on the video, Todd is sitting in the chair today, and I'm actually remote. Thank you so much, Todd, for being there. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jason. Thanks for having me in today, and thanks for calling in and get this show rolling.
Well, I'm really excited because I got some. Todd and I are going to be discussing some success stories with the Pennsylvania Game Commission. A lot of our crop damage stuff that's been going on in Pennsylvania, but there was something that rolled out today actually, and was announced that e-tagging is coming, so I'm really excited to talk about that. But before I do, I want to give a special thanks to all of our sponsors. You can join the Mariana Outdoorsman Association today at marianaoutdoors.com. We're running our early bird special currently. You can join, you get the remainder of this calendar year for free, and then you get all of next year. I repeat, if you join now, you get the remainder of this year for free, and then you get all of the following calendar year. It's certainly a tremendous deal. Whether you're an avid trout fisherman, upland bird hunter, or you like to shoot 1,000 yards, we have everything for you to enjoy all the above. MarianaOutdoors.com. Again, that's MarianaOutdoors.com. And if you ever have any questions, you can call me personally at 724-579-0924. Happy to give you a tour and answer any questions. Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. If you're interested in an upland bird hunt, if you're interested in a free-ranging white-tailed deer hunt, if you want to just get away and enjoy life on the farm for the weekend, happy to have you. We're now hosting weddings. tenmileco.org. That's tenmileco.org. Weddings, corporate events, parties, basically all the above. We're firing up the upland bird hunting right now. That's coming. Deer season's during normal deer seasons. Turkey is in the spring, and then we'll be firing up trout too. But if you want to do anything that's guided, lodging, etc., we got you covered. tenmileco.org or call me at 724-579-0924. And last but not least, please visit Washington County, Pennsylvania. And special thanks to the Washington County Tourism and Promotion Agency. Todd, I sent you a message this morning. That news article dropped out of GoErie.com. The Game Commission announced e-tagging is on the horizon for deer and turkey hunters in 2027. What do you think about that, man?
I think
that's
it's
really
great.
Exciting.
I think it's great. We're finally moving forward, getting out of the Stone Ages. I mean, it's just a phenomenal thing. Everybody's been working together, and just pushing things forward, and the efforts are being seen and noted, and it's just a phenomenal, great thing. It's just the efforts are definitely being seen.
Well, I've been talking about this in past episodes because this whole e-tagging system, the Game Commission talks in this article. Again, it's at GoErie.com. That's GoErie.com. You can read the article. It was written by Brian Whipke. I'm really excited because this app that they're talking about has the potential to piggyback when it comes to other things. So, this is kind of like the first stepping stone when it comes to tagging, e-tagging. So envision, folks, those that use a smartphone, you're going to have a QR code on the back of your tag, on your hard copy tag, and basically you'll be able to scan and report when you're out in the field. Now, that's so convenient. Like literally the push of a button, no more having to fill out the paper and send it in. No need to make the phone call. No need to even go on your computer. You'll be able to do it right from the click of your thumb, basically, on your cell phone. So, why else is this important? Not only from a convenience perspective. I would say it's going to give the Game Commission better accurate data. Clearly, if you harvest a deer and when you report it, if you're at the location, it presents the opportunity to be geo-tracked and to have really accurate information, which is exciting. I think that there's a lot of potential with this idea to piggyback with crop damage, seeing other wildlife, communication. But I'm really excited about this, Todd, because, we just haven't been, how do I want to say this? There's just so much positivity happening right now. For those that do not know, this idea was a policy that passed out of the Fayette County Farm Bureau and then ultimately passed as a statewide policy with the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau. And I can tell you for a fact that this was a big advocacy thing with the Farm Bureau to get technology incorporated. Todd, you've been around Farm Bureau, obviously. You've been around politics. This will be the 8th policy this calendar year that is being announced that is coming. So you now have e-tagging. We have certified hunter. We have the Deer Management Assistance Program now allowing rifles in late season. We have reforms with trespass, including purple paint, including enforced penalties. We have, there's actually a 9th one. I forgot. The youth, there were some changes to mentored youth to give more kids opportunity. So that's getting more people out Sunday hunting. Let's see, what am I missing? The representative, an agricultural person on the Game Commission, not a Farm Bureau member, but somebody with an agricultural background. And then the red tags, being able to dispose of a carcass with the shooter taking it to the butcher shop as opposed to having to wait on a Game Commission. Hearing all that, Todd.
I mean, it's so
hearing all that, Todd, what do you think? Tell people your perspective, because you've been around. What's your view on all of this? Where do you see us, from where we were to where we are? And I'm not just talking Farm Bureau. I'm talking Game Commission. I'm talking politically, to see that much happen. What's your view on it?
Well, if you'd have said this 5 years ago, people would have said you were crazy. And literally, they'd have said that the Farm Bureau and the Game Commission would have never been able to work together. And politically, there was such a divide. Nobody wanted to touch the Sunday hunting issue. Nobody wanted to touch the Farm Bureau and Game Commission together. They were in 2 separate rooms with a concrete wall between them that an armor-piercing bullet would not have penetrated. And now they're, I'm not going to say they walk kumbaya together, but they are so much better together. Everybody is willing to work together, talk together, and try to come up with solutions. And it's bipartisan now. It's just so much more cooperative. And that's what it needs to be. People can have different ideas. Different ideas are great. And, they're able to talk them out and talk through things and have different ideas. And that's how this all came together. You and I, we talk about things, and then, we throw them against the wall, see what sticks, take different ideas, put them together, make them a better idea. And, we've talked to people across the state. The Farm Bureau has the team together. We're meeting tomorrow. And, that team goes, with how many different other organizations, and gets back with the Game Commission and takes it to the legislators and lobbies for that. And the Game Commission is listening. And thank goodness they are. And then it goes to the legislators, and the legislators are definitely listening, and they're pushing these, from policy to law and getting it, pushed across the finish line. And I never thought I would see it happen as quick as it did. And I'm so happy that it is. Still some hurdles to get over. Sunday hunting is now a reality. And that brings up a sore subject that it's not happening in all state lands, but that's something I'm sure we're going to talk about today. But you know what? It's happening almost everywhere in the state. And it's a great opportunity. You know, when we had a couple days of Sunday hunting, people realized that their heads weren't going to explode, that it wasn't going to shut down the world. You know, and it's happened in other states surrounding us everywhere, and it's helped their economy. It's been a great benefit. You know, you've hunted other states that Sunday hunting's allowed. I hunt other states, Sunday hunting's allowed. It's been a great thing there. It just gives you opportunities. The numbers are dwindling on hunters. You know, it's not as a common thing as it was, you know, back when we were kids, and, you know, our fathers and grandfathers, when they hunted, it was a pastime. It was a way of life. We got to keep kids hunting. We got to keep this going. And, you know, we got to keep this pastime and tradition going. And these are the things that's going to do this. And it's such a great way of life. And, you know, I thank your efforts. I mean, you've been a driving force for this. And, I mean, we just have to keep this momentum going, because politically it's been such a positive movement. I can't thank our local legislators enough for this. I mean, we're blessed here, especially in Fayette County and the surrounding areas. I mean, we're blessed. Westmoreland, Washington, you know, I mean, at Greene County, we're blessed here in this area, you know, that with our legislators, that they push so hard, and they've been instrumental with things. So, I mean, I don't know, it's just been so positive.
Well, I want to highlight about the local legislators in a minute, because I was actually speaking to one of our local folks yesterday, and there's something coming down that I think is very important to talk about. But looking before I do about that, you know, we got 9 policies. I cannot stress how monumental that is.
Huge.
For anybody that's aware of the Farm Bureau, or aware of the Game Commission, or aware of the legislature as a whole, to see 9 things happening. I've never heard of it before.
No, doesn't happen.
Maybe it's like usually 1 thing or maybe 2 things, but to see 9, it's truly remarkable. Now, that being said, we have a meeting tomorrow, and that meeting is to discuss as soon as the governor turned around and shook my hand, thanked me for our efforts being the Farm Bureau with all of this stuff, not just Sunday hunting. House Bill 1431, Senate Bill 518, and then these other regulations that have been changed internally within the Game Commission. But what I realized at that moment, we got to keep the pedal on the metal. We got to keep moving forward. We can't sit here and get too stuck in, how do I want to say this, celebrating too much. I wanted to really focus on, hey, what's the next things? So to Todd's point, one of the big ones is the DCNR, Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, in our state parks is not going to allow the uniform Sunday hunting dates in those parks. We haven't gotten a legitimate reason why. Personally, I think it's unacceptable. That's my opinion. Odd, obviously, in Fayette County has state parks, so to me it's concerning. I know that this will be something that gets brought up tomorrow at our meeting. So just for the listeners out there, certainly next year, we're going to be pushing to get that fixed and resolved, because there's really, to my knowledge and awareness, I mean, it's kind of a slap in the face of our sportsman partners, so on and so forth, because, I mean, if they're safe Monday through Saturday, it's almost like insulting that we would, blockade them off on a Sunday. I mean, what are your thoughts, Todd?
Oh, I mean, it's only a couple weeks out of the year. I do not see where this hurts anything. I mean, there's still safety zones. You know, hunters are taught safety with the weapons of choice, especially archery. I mean, archery, it's an arrow only travels so far. Your target's identified, and I mean, I cannot see where that would be any problem with having archery opened, especially in these parks. You and I talked about that the other night, and it just seems very closed-minded and wrong for them not to be open during these times. rifle season. I mean, I'm sure there is campers that camp during the inclement times, but what would it hurt to have it open for a couple weeks during rifle season? You know, I mean, it did draw a thing, and I mean, I can bring this up, Jason. You know, and maybe this is why the people that ride horses was one of the big reasons why the Farm Bureau did not want to have Sunday hunting go on, because the people that have horses really were upset about Sunday hunting, and they felt that that was one of the reasons they did not want Sunday hunting, because they wanted Sundays for riding horses. And I'm nothing against riding horses. I've had horses on my farm over the years. I don't have any right now, but I mean, I think it's great. But let's share. You know, I mean, that's sportsmen spend a lot of money every year on license. The money from license go to these parks. Sportsmen are the biggest revenue generators for these parks also. So let's not forget that either. You know, and without them, they wouldn't have the money to do these things. So we can't forget that either.
Well, the thing, you hit the nail on the head, though, about safety and whatnot. Like, first of all, it doesn't matter what day of the week. You just can't walk out and do unsafe or obviously illegal activity. Like, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. So to me, this comes down to simply managing one's property, and that being the DCNR. If they don't want people to hunt, obviously, in certain areas of a state park, then that's fine. That comes down to providing some maps and where you can and cannot hunt, and have some signage. It's not rocket science. It's actually pretty simple.
Absolutely.
Clearly, you can coexist and cohabitate. We prove that every day at the MOA, the Mariana Outdoorsman Association. We're a multifunctioning facility. Holy smokes! It just comes down to good management, good communication. So yeah, I mean, are hunters going to be able to hunt everywhere at a state park? Yeah, probably not. I mean, obviously, you're not going to be using a high-powered rifle on a campground. But yeah, there's no reason that we can't coexist, cohabitate. Holy smokes! I mean, I've even had conversations with people. I don't care if you were horseback riding or even going for a walk. I mean, out of common sense, one would think, hey, put an orange hat on, put an orange vest on, just for your safety. Just because that's I think a good stewardly thing to do, and kind of common sense, especially during rifle season. I mean, holy smokes! I mean, it's just, come on. So we'll see. I do believe that will get rectified, because I think there's going to be a lot of pressure. You're going to see a tremendous amount of pressure onto the DCNR, and why I think they're going to be in a little bit of a trick bag politically. DCNR gets their budget out of state budget. They're not like the Game Commission and Fish Commission, where they basically rely on license sales and registrations. So there could be a lot of political pressure I could foresee coming to the DCNR. So we'll see. Time will tell. But my guess is it'll open up. That's my guesstimate right now. Again, we'll see. Another big topic, this comes back to being local, is permitting reform. I know I've talked about this a lot. Some people might even be sick of hearing it from me. But Representative Charity Krupa put out a memo, I think it was a few months ago. She will be introducing some legislation very, very soon. I just saw the draft actually last night, and I was up at the wee hours this morning looking at it. Extremely exciting, Todd. I've been traveling the state here recently, and I've been in Potter, Tioga counties, having issues with can't get trees that have fallen down and causing backed up water and flooding into fields, causing safety issues. I was in Center County. Gentleman took 6 months to get a permit just so he could access his driveway to his farm. He needed to replace a culvert pipe. And then my own experiences with what I've done with habitat improvement. Just 6 months. 6 months right now, Todd, to get a general permit. When we talk about...
I'm waiting on a permit since last October for the township for a culvert replacement up in the game lands on a township road to replace a culvert that's failing that I got an LSA grant for, and I've been waiting since last October. And it's approved, just waiting on it to get it done. You know, I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's what people don't realize. Like, explain to people, Todd, I would say that explain from even a municipal perspective the costs associated with engineering and planning when it comes to these permits due to the fact that they're so time consuming, and also the back and forth because they drag on so long. There's constant calls. Explain to folks why that's so burdensome to a municipality and obviously a business.
Oh, it is. I mean, because they come back with changes. They come back with just minute little things that just make no sense at times. I mean, they nitpick, it's for things. And when I say nitpicking, it's common sense at times with things. And the engineering gets quite expensive. Engineers' time costs money. And every time there's a change, that's money. And that comes back to the taxpayers when it's a municipal setting. When it's a personal setting, that comes back to a person's pocketbook. And the DEP doesn't care. It just drags it out longer and longer. And these permits take so long. And then when you submit it restarts the clock. And it just, 30, 60 days longer. And then it's just ridiculous how long it takes. And this one's been approved for months. And it's like, they tell you it's approved, but it's not approved because you don't have it until it's there. And they'd say, oh, okay,
until you have that, until you have the letter, until you have the official letter, it's not approved.
Right. They say, oh, everything's good, but they can nail you if you do something and you do not have that official document. And we want to do something to make it safe. This is a failing culvert that, I'm very thankful for getting the grant to be able to do the work there. And it's unsafe for people to cross this with, a heavy vehicle. And there's logging that goes on up in this area. There's, other, even a heavy truck could go over this thing and end up down in the stream. And I don't want people to cross that and have a problem. I mean, we do have a steel plate over it, which is making it safe enough. But what's safe enough if something would happen? I don't want somebody's life in danger. I want to fix this thing. I want to make it right. That's why, thank goodness for our state rep. He's great for getting me the grant. I've got it. I'm ready to do the work. I just need the permit to finish this. And the DEP, once again, is a burn on our side. You've been fighting on this. I can't thank you enough. Thank you to the state reps for pushing this in our area. They know the problem, and the governor keeps saying he's going to streamline this. Well, it's time to see some more action instead of words from him, and let's get this done. I mean, I'm hoping he does. He keeps talking it. Every time I hear him speak, he keeps saying how he's going to fast track it. I'm not seeing much fast tracking from him at all, and I'm not trying to put him down. I mean, things are a little bit better than they were, but a little bit's not enough. I mean, these permits should be so much better and easier because the changes that come out of the DEP, when I say nitpicking, I mean, they want you to plant grass where there's already grass growing. They want you, don't touch that. That could be a wetland, 100 years ago. There hasn't been a stream there that you've ever saw in 3 lifetimes. It's just, the stuff they say is just absurd at best. And I mean, the common sense goes out the window, and it just, I mean, you've seen a lot of it. I see it. And I don't want to sit here and badmouth them. I'm not trying to bash them. They have a job to do, and they're not all bad. And I'm not saying they're, they do. Everybody in that department does this, but there's a lot of them. I think they try to make people's lives harder, so they just give up. And that's sure what it seems like.
Well, when you talk about nitpicking, I've told this story before, where I had a 5-month basically battle with the Fish Commission and the DEP over a 2-inch notation on a drawing. They wanted me to have a rock in a stream for habitat improvement to be at exactly 2 inches. The top of the rock had to be 2 inches above normal flow. And I raised the question, well, who's determining what normal flow is? And I could never get a valid answer on that. And point being, to your point, Todd, ridiculous changes back and forth. And what they do not understand is then whether that's a municipality, whether that's a business, whether it's conservation group, nonprofit, doesn't matter. It costs money. It costs time. And if it's an engineer or an attorney, you know dang well, hundreds of dollars an hour. And a lot of this stuff, what I've come to find, I think, which is probably the most troubling to me, is that the DEP and these agencies are permitting differently region to region, number one. Number two, which is 1B, is they lack a uniform practice. And number three, it's all supposed to be general permits. So make it general. Give pre-approved schematics and drawings and processes and procedures, and that's what should be done. That's the common sense approach. But we have not gotten there. And to your point, yeah, I'm appreciative the governor's moved the needle a little bit. I would say what took a year and a half to 2 years is now 6 months. That was nothing more than somebody saying, hey, do your job. Like, come on. And impressing the political pressure is what got people to actually do their jobs. But that being said, 6 months is utterly unacceptable. And I don't want to sit here and say, oh, well, I'm thankful we're at 6 months. I'm not. I'm really not. Am I appreciative that we went from a year and a half, 2 years, down to 6 months? I am. But if that's where we are as a society, that's our acceptance, we're selling ourselves short.
Oh, absolutely.
We're driving up costs. We're making, to your point, you have a situation you need to resolve. You can't even plan projects accordingly because the permits take, I was dealing with it at the MOA. We were doing a stream habitat project. I'm trying to schedule equipment, and they keep adding ridiculous, add another note, add a note, add a note. And it's like, it doesn't even there's no legal requirement to even put this on the drawing. So, everybody keep your eyes peeled. I expect Representative Krupa to have something coming out sooner than later. I'm extremely excited about it because what she's drafting is basically what we're talking about right now. An expedited, streamlined process that would be pre-approved, as long as you're obviously doing the processes and procedures laid out in the application. So that's exciting. Some other things that are a big deal: Certified Hunter Program, which right now is in southwestern Pennsylvania only. It is not, I guess, officially official, but the intention is, from what I've gathered from the Game Commission, that it's going to go statewide next year. I think that's huge. I had the opportunity when this was first discussed. One of the commissioners, I actually took him turkey hunting, and we were having a conversation, and he was asking me, what do we got to do to get hunters onto farms? And I laid out all the issues and solutions that I saw, with lack of management, lack of, landowners don't have a right to say, in the past, didn't have a right to say, oh, I'd like you to shoot 3 doe before you're allowed to shoot a buck, or I'd like you to park here, or I'd like you to only hunt this part of my farm. That's all changed. This program is truly, I think, going to make a lot of inroads to building relationships, and more importantly, managing deer. And I know it's only in a pilot program this year, so a lot of people don't even know about it. That's why I keep trying to bring it up on the radio. Obviously sharing it on YouTube, podcasts, social media, etc. What do you hear, Todd, in regards to the program? Like, what are your feelings? Like, tell me, give me your view on how it's going.
Well, like you said, not enough people know about it, but what I am hearing is there's a lot of positive to it. This year, the thing I'm hearing from farmers is not enough people are coming out yet to shoot deer on the crop damage farms yet. So if we could encourage people to get out, and I know it's been warm, very warm, unseasonably warm so far, but if we can encourage hunters to get out there and take some deer off farmers' land, that would be a great thing. I just talked to some people yesterday, and they said the deer definitely need to start coming off crop damage farms. So that would help, but it does definitely need to keep spreading the word, and this is a way to do it. Platforms like this, and you're doing a great job of it, Jason. I mean, you've been instrumental, and I can't thank you enough for that. We got to keep spreading it. Social media is a great tool when it's used properly, and this is one of those times. And we just got to keep getting it out there, because the Game Commission gets a bad rap a lot of times. And I'll tell you what, in the last couple years, they've been doing a lot of good things and a lot of positives. And in southwestern PA, I'm very pleased with the Game Commission. A couple years ago, they were a little distant to get a hold of in different things, and I'll tell you what, they've been reaching out locally to try to be more involved with the townships, more involved with the local people, and they're trying to change the way that they were kind of distant with us and everything. And I'm very, very pleased with them. And the regional director, he actually came to our township convention last week. And he said that he wants that changed. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want the division anymore. He doesn't want them to be looked at as the bad guys anymore. He wants them to be more of a resource and a tool, rather than be the bad guy. And I was very pleased with that. And I can't thank him enough for that. They don't want that light anymore, is what he's saying. And I'm thankful for that. And maybe it's because we're all trying to work together and not have this stigma around them anymore. Maybe they were looking at it different. I'm not sure, but I think it's a very positive thing that we're all trying to work together and not work against each other.
Well, I think that there's been major inroads to building positive relationships. I cannot stress to everybody enough what Todd's saying about how things were negative or bad in the past. It was darn right almost hostile for a while. To your point about walls being up, Game Commission just did not have best perception, as did the Farm Bureau. Both were guilty in certain ways.
Oh yes.
But I think a lot of fences have been mended, relationships have been established. Certainly, we've come a long way. We have a long way to go. A couple other things I think that are important to hit on. Game lands, Todd. I know this is a near and dear topic to you. I've had conversations recently with the Game Commission about habitat development, management of game lands, investing more money in the game lands, and even there's even conversations now regarding pheasant and quail stockings.
Wow.
And also buying some of those birds from private sector hatcheries, because I came to find out that Game Commission's cost for a pheasant is roughly in the ballpark of $25. That's nearly double what they should be paying. So there's some interesting discussions happening. I'm excited about that piece. Why don't you tell people real quickly, Todd, just, I know we only have a couple minutes left, but just tell them, like, your experience even without the game lands and kind of like what you'd like to see being that you're involved with a township and have a game land.
Well, and that's been a struggle, but that's even getting a little bit better. But signage even, to let people know where to park. The parking areas were a struggle. No signs for parking areas, in the game lands. No garbage cans. No, just very lax up in the game lands. If we didn't take care of it as a township, it wasn't there. We just did a very large road improvement up to the game lands. It's still actually ongoing, so people can access it a lot better because it is a township road. But not a whole lot of help from the game commission, but they are starting to help us, get some gravel up there to us and stuff, and thank you to them. But we put about $100,000 in grant money up to there, and other money we got for some things, so that was a big help. But people need to be able to access up through there, and you rode up through there with me, and I mean, it's a long road, and you saw the parking areas. They were deplorable at best. You couldn't even tell where to go, and that should not always be on the townships. That should be the game commission should be helping out with some of that stuff. People didn't know where to go for that stuff. They didn't even know it was a game lands up there. All they know is it's woods. You see a couple access signs here and there that are falling down and just kind of forgot about, and I'd like to see some more cooperation with that, which we are getting. Like I said, the cooperation is getting better, so I don't want to badmouth them too bad, because like I said, they are starting to work with us a lot better. But it took communication, it took some hard work, and we're getting there. But it's going to take an ongoing relationship with them, and you can't stop once you get the momentum going, like we were talking about earlier. You just cannot stop once you get a little bit of momentum. Keep it rolling.
Well, time flies when you're having fun. Todd and I are going to be in some meetings tomorrow, so certainly look forward to our conversations over the upcoming weeks and the upcoming episodes, because we'll be certainly updating everybody. I'm really excited to, see where, like you said, where the positivity takes us.
Yes, sir.
But for now, I want to thank you, Todd. I want to give a special thanks to our sponsors before we wrap up. Again, the Mariana Outdoorsman Association. You can join today at MarianaOutdoors.com. Again, MarianaOutdoors.com. Join today, get the rest of the year for free and all of next year. Again, MarianaOutdoors.com. 10 Mile Creek Outfitters, which manages Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. If you're looking to have any type of guided hunt, whether that's deer, turkey, trophy, trout, guided fishing trip, if you're looking to book a trip, if you're looking to have lodging as an accommodation, if you're interested about upland bird hunts, we have upland bird fundraisers that you can even do for your organization, weddings, lodging, and so much more. 10mileco.org, 724-579-0924. And last but not least, special thanks to Washington County Tourism and Promotion Agency. Please visit Washington County, Pennsylvania. I'm Jason White. This has been The Great Outdoors. I will see you all next week.
All right, and we'll close out the hour here with some Supertramp and Take the Long Way Home.